Then good evening and welcome back to Dragon of Icespire Peak. In last session, we had. Oh, Glob, what did we do? We made it back to Fandalen. We uh, met up with some family, had some heart touching moments. We organized a trip to Axholm, and we had a mini party in a relatively empty tavern uh, for the night. And that's where we're going to pick up. Uh, you all have retired to your respective rooms, um, or are about to. There is an opportunity if you all would like to discuss anything that needs to be done, or to role play, or to do anything that you would like to do. Otherwise, we'll fast forward to the morning. Oh, you know what? I'm lying. You all had a shared dream and awoke to the sound of a lute being played downstairs
Yes.
and a song being sung or finished being sung by a relatively new companion, Irk.
Mhm.
So that is where we'll pick up. Who wakes up first?
I'd imagine it would be Reginald, right? Because, elves
hmm
don't need sleep or something.
He trances for 4 hours. After that, I don't know what he does.
Books.
Accurate.
Well, Reginald, you experience the dream same as the others, but you maybe wake up a little bit before they do to hear the verses being sung in a much less majestic voice than what was in your dream. As Irk's voice, while tolerable at the best of times, is not something that should be singing. But even as you listen, it phases in and out as if it's not really his voice that's uh, trying to sing using his voice. It's as if something is trying to speak through him or sing through him. An interesting effect, to be sure. Now, whether or not you stamp on the floor and yell "shut up" is entirely up to you at this point.
I don't think that would be Reginald's move. He probably would go down and see what the heck was going on because, it's like obviously Irk singing a song. What the heck?
And that is what you see. In the far corner of the stone Stonehill Tavern, Stonehill Inn, you see Irk on a stool that is too tall for him, with his pack at his feet, his beautiful lute in his hands. Uh, let's see. I don't remember if I wrote a description for the lute.
No, from what I remember you describing it the first time that Kita and I saw it, it's well maintained, and it's in very good condition. And
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like there was a marking of some type on it that was similar to what Kita has had with her Lizardfolk tribe, but I don't remember exactly. But I think that was part of it.
Uh, so the lute in question, for Reginald's viewing pleasure. Um, you've seen the lute before. He wears it on the side of his pack normally. Uh, so, and you've noticed that it's a rather beautiful piece, if a bit antique, like it definitely bears age. Um, but as he plays it, it is platinum in color with these sky blue engravings in it that just resonate a very peaceful, almost uh, serene effect on you. And as you bear witness to it, the effect of the magic, you recognize it, hits you full force, and you definitely notice that this is a very calming effect. You walk down, and you were already calm, but like there is no room in your head for uh, irritation or anger or any other emotion. Really, you just feel at peace listening to Irk play this lute and sing.
Quick question that I have from our shared vision / the song. Do we recognize it? Like, is it something that's like something we already knew, or is it like a new tales kind of song that we heard in the vision that now suddenly he's playing too?
The lyrics,
Yeah.
roll me a history check. So it tickles the corners of your memory as a potentially religious type song. Um, it it tickles that, and you think upon it a little bit more. If you would like to get more information than that, I will need a religion check. However,
Okay.
sorry for digging for rolls, but
No, it's okay.
Jesus,
I'll keep putting them out for you.
you will. Uh, you have been through the library in your home and through the university several times, uh, imbibing all sorts of lore, both religious and not. And the verses you recognize are torn from uh, a story half remembered and honestly half written of Bahamut. So you don't really know the full length of the history there, as you are not a history buff, and uh, that's not really your avenue of study. But you do recognize it as being somewhat tied to the religion of Bahamut, or the worship of Bahamut.
Noted.
Um, to your surprise, Toblin and Fiera are up as well. They're kind of behind the counter, um, not really doing anything, just kind of listening to the music within themselves, not really paying you any mind. Uh, Fiera is actually the first to notice you, and she'll walk over to you and ask you if you're all right, and offer you any food and drink if it's something that you desire.
Um, I mean, I'll take, I'll take food and drink, sure. But yeah, Reginald replies to her kind of like, uh, "Yes, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm simply listening to the song."
She'll ask you, and forgive me, I don't have a feminine voice, but do you know him? Is he friends with Thorn? I I noticed that they're of the same, not kobold race, I guess.
Ah, yes, that is his name is Urk. You've sort of adopted him among the party that we have, I suppose, is the best way to phrase it. But yes, he's with us loosely.
Well, tell him as long as he plays like that, he can stay here as long as he likes.
I'm sure he will enjoy hearing that.
She smiles at you and gives you a wink and makes off to go fix you a breakfast. And while that happens, we're going to pan over to either Lionel or Thorn, whichever one of you wakes up next.
I think as she's walking away, there is just this screeching and creaking of wood as Thorn is just sliding her way down the banister again.
Well, Thorn, similar to Reginald, the full effect of the magic of the music that is being played strikes you as you come into the room. Uh, Calmness takes over. Maybe those thornish impulses to be a menace to society are subdued a little bit. And you see Urk in the corner playing his lute. His lute looks as I described it to Reginald. And Reginald sitting down in the usual spot, uh, about to be served some food.
I don't think Lark, Jesus. I don't think Thorn says anything. I think she just kind of like sits on top of the banister, at like the bottom. Like she's sitting on like what would be the end of the handrail, and it's just kind of like watching Reginald and Erg for a little bit. Not being a menace, maybe plotting a little bit, but not being a menace. Not yet.
Well, as you're sitting there and have already made yourself known to the company, Toblin will walk over to you. He'll and point to a seat so you get off of his wooden banister and say, "I take it you're hungry this morning."
There is no reply aside from a skittering of feet.
I don't know why I asked. um, he goes off to fetch your normal fare. Lionel, you are the last to wake.
Mm-hmm. I eventually rise and start to head downstairs, pulling things on and going through the mental gymnastics of what I need to get done today, along with what I also need to work on with Reginald. So I am half muttering to myself as I go down the stairs and have a like notebook open.
You find that it's a little bit hard to focus on those things as you come down and those notes strike you and the calmness takes over. And it's definitely something that has your interest, but it's an urgency for you, and you really can't experience that in the presence of this song.
Mhm.
So try as you might, thinking about doing anything other than enjoying a hot meal and just relaxing for the next few moments is entirely difficult.
I think he tries for a little bit, and eventually, when he realizes that he just can't concentrate, he eventually just closes whatever notebook he's working on and just sits there and listens. And I guess if any solace of comfort, he would at least try to figure out what the song is in origin or something.
You are a little bit more well versed in magical studies. than, say, Thorn. Maybe not as much as Reginald. So if you would like to know, you will have to roll a history and a religion check if you beat the history check.
Okay.
Or you could ask Reginald.
Uh, I think I will roll first because that's just how Lionel's mind works.
Sure.
And then I will ask Reginald.
So, yes, you
Mhm.
recognize it, and same as Reginald, it tickles those religious sides of your brain.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you cannot place the religion.
I think he'll stare for a bit and realize that he's not going to get it and just look to Reginald. Why does this sound so familiar and just remind me of churches and clerics and makes me feel like we should be in a hall to some god?
Well, I mean, because it is in line with that. I was not aware that you were a follower of Bahamut at all, but I suppose it, yeah, would track.
No. No. I don't really follow any god. Just because I can speak his tongue, yes, but I don't I'm not a follower of him. Question. Is Irk singing it in common or is he singing it in draconic?
Uh, as you listen, he's actually sung the same line of verses in about 7 different languages so far.
Okay.
Each with a different slightly different tune, but all in all, the lyrics remain roughly the same.
Okay.
Um, so sometimes it goes in for what is to you gibberish,
Mhm.
and frequently it goes back to common draconic, and well, mainly those two. But when the voice isn't his,
Mhm.
uh, it's usually in languages that you don't understand.
Okay. I didn't realize Irk was a polyglot.
That doesn't
Although
sound
his
like a very
voice,
nice word. You shouldn't call people that.
it's a fine word. It means someone who knows a lot of languages and can speak them. But that doesn't sound like him singing when it changes.
It very much sounds like the dream. That deep, uh, silky smooth voice that I just don't have.
Mm-hmm. Did you did you all did you all sleep fine last night?
Um, I mean, yes, outside of, essentially hearing this song of chant in my
Okay.
vision, but
So you heard it too. Good to know. Okay. I'm
yes.
not crazy.
Well, I mean, perhaps,
We're
but
not going to
you're not.
start. Not going to start with that this morning. I haven't had coffee yet.
Well, some of us have, but that's all right.
As if on cue, Toblin shows up with 2 plates piled high with breakfast, a ale, and a black coffee.
I
Now,
cradle
if
my
you'll give
coffee
us
like a small child.
if you'll give us just a minute, Buddy has called for his good night. So
Okay, okay.
hello.
Hello.
Yola.
Right, where were we?
Discussions about the shared vision, food showing up, about coffee and not having had coffee yet.
That's right.
I mean, cradling the
Ooh.
coffee like a small child.
As you all begin to eat, Urk finishes songs, uh, finally taking notice of the world around him. Uh, for those of you paying attention to him as he goes to finish, this entire time his eyes have been shut as he plays. But as he looks up, you all notice that his eyes are a bright white bluish that are extremely they're fucking headlights almost. uh, but as soon as he opens them, that light immediately begins to fade, and he blinks. And for a moment, you recognize like there's a little bit of "where am I?" and then a recognition of "okay, I'm okay." And then he like hops off the stool, pushes the door open, and leaves.
Do we ask him about that?
Perhaps later. I wouldn't want to corner him now. You never know
Thorn?
what kind of reaction he may give you.
Thorn was gonna kick the seat out for him to join us for breakfast, but like, Thorn guesses he doesn't want to join us for breakfast, so.
Guess not.
Well, as you all are consuming your meal, it's not long before you actually see him again, except in tow, he has everybody's families. Reginald and Rubella, Ostrin and Tina, and Kuri, who attempts to fit through the door, but ultimately lets out a giant sigh uh, and opens one of the windows next to the door and just sits down outside.
Thorn will cross over to like sit in the windowsill with her brother.
Um, Reginald and Rubella come to sit with. I'm sorry, Reginald, Rubella, Austrian, and Tina all come to join you two at the table. And Irk, kind of like satisfied with his reunion of everybody's families for the morning, walks up to the bar, sits down, and like starts kicking it vehemently, like, "Can I get a drink?" and is being utterly obnoxious about it. But yes, you all are reunited with your families. Um, Reginald, as your parents arrive, they're they're already in their traveling gear, as if ready to go. Um, but they smile as they see you, and they sit down across from you, and they just make idle chit chat with you, honestly, enjoying the moment, talking about the weather, and uh, you know, wishing you all the best of luck on the upcoming days. Um, your father, after a few minutes of talking with you, though, uh, kind of gets a serious look on his face and says, it's no longer an option for you to come back. Uh, you will be coming back. I have taken ill, and Fortno needs a leader to replace me. So that leader will be you. And as if to emphasize the point of illness, he uh, turns his head to the side and coughs lightly. But He's eagerly awaiting your response.
Well, well, Father, I can certainly say that I am not the most eager individual to step forth into such a right of mine. But I will certainly do with it as best I can. I feel maybe perhaps ill-equipped at this stage, but well, when is anyone ever really ready? I suppose.
Wise words. I know I wasn't ready, but I'm not gone yet, and I will do my best to educate you uh, in my responsibilities once you return. And your mother will be here for much longer still. So, but grim tidings aside, uh, go kick some ass, my son.
Well, I hope to. Yes, I don't know how large my foot will be, but we'll certainly give it a try.
I've never known an asshole big enough to take a fireball.
Well,
And as if to illustrate his point, he just lets flames erupt around. Uh,
okay.
Lionel, your brother and sister are chowing down on some meat that isn't tough as nails. So
Mhm.
they're pretty quiet as they sit next to you, but they're like sidled up to you, like you're in the center of them, and they have squished you at this point. You don't have room to move your elbows.
I think he's uncomfortable for a moment, but I think he accepts it and just lets them eat and enjoy this moment more than anything. I think the only thing he might do is if he sees one of them having like their elbows improperly as their mother would not let them have, he would scold them and be like, "No, mom taught you better."
Oh yeah. Tina, totally proper. Ostrin, however, is like elbows up on the table, shoveling food into his face like he's a fucking pig. Uh, he
I
has,
swat his elbow. Ostrin, you know better. Stop.
yeah, okay, mom. He says through a mouthful of food.
Listen, you know she will hit us both if she ever finds out that one, you did this, and two, I didn't do anything to stop you.
Yeah, that's because you're a snitch. He says as he continues to eat.
Oh. I have my hand above his head as if I am going to put his face into some of his scrambled eggs or whatever he has, and then I stop myself. I'm like, no, it's fine.
Thorn would do it.
I think instead I just put my hand on like the top of his head and not scruff him, but kind of shake it through there a little bit.
Uh, he chuckles and he writes himself for the goody two shoes mama's boy, and otherwise continues to enjoy his meal. Tina, however, pulls out that book from before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if you don't remember, there was a book written in what you thought to be Elvish, which actually seems to be written in maybe Fey.
Yep, I
Uh,
remember.
yep. She kind of hands it over to you, and you notice that there are a few loose pages inside of it, as if she has
Mhm.
transcribed something. But she tells you, we didn't have time before Axholm, and it doesn't seem like we'll have time now. But since, everything that happened, if you want to know more about who he is, I've detailed everything that I can in this book. I would recommend not to read it in a place where you may be attacked or anything like that, as I can only tell you that when I read it, I am defenseless. But the notes should be safe. Austrin read them with no problem. So, but
I smile. I smile.
just make sure you come back to us so we can actually properly discuss what our next move is.
I give her a hug with one of my arms, whatever side she is on, and I will say to her, I promise I'll come back. And we can have a proper discussion once I've read the notes. And you can tell me where the holes in my head are for not fully understanding something.
She chuckles and continues to eat her breakfast.
I put the book into my bag for safekeeping, making sure not to catch the loose pages on anything so as not to tear them.
It's bound, so like I say loose pages, they're just different pages than the
Gotcha.
original book. But
Okay.
the book is bound tightly, so that way if you wanted to read it, you would have to unwind a few strips of leather and undo a clasp. So it's tight.
Gotcha.
But yes, you put the book away. And as all that's going on, we have Kuri in a window literally tearing apart the carcass of something that is raw and relatively fresh as he gnaws on its bones with one big copper eye staring at little old Thorn.
Thorn is not staring back. She is shoveling what I assume is kibbled meat again into her mouth.
He's like, there's an audible crack of a very large bone in his mouth, and he says, "How do you eat it when it's so small? Looks like soup."
Look, this wasn't Thorn's idea. This is just what Toblin does now. I think Thorn thinks that he is afraid Thorn is going to choke. Because these people, they haven't seen Thorn eat a whole rabbit in one go. So
You thought it was a rabbit, but it was a rock. It was the size of my thumb.
it was definitely a rabbit.
You don't taste much, do you? Just straight into the mouth and down into the gullet.
I mean, it served its purpose. Thorn was full.
Yes, well, speaking of being full, I have a request for you. You're gonna go eat the dragon. I want you to save me its heart. So that way we can share it in memory of Dad.
I think she kind of looks over at him, and there's just it's absolutely the look of a hunter examining something that could be prey. And it's just a very calculating look, and she just kind of stares at him for a moment, maybe a moment too long, and then nods. Thorn doesn't know how Thorn will get it back, but Thorn will get it back for you. For us.
I wish I could go with you.
No, someone needs to stay behind and take care of the others. And if anybody's going to fight the dragon, it's going to be the speaker. This is what Thorn is made for.
He rolls his eyes. You and your fucking Yubaba's teachings.
I hit him with the plate. Just donk. Do not disrespect Yubaba.
It doesn't do much, and he gives a guttural laugh. You already know the Kamote way. We're not made for one thing. Sure, kill the dragon. It's the job, the duty of the speaker. But what comes after? What's after that for Little Thorn?
She leans in and she doesn't whisper, but she's like almost nose to nose with him. Then Thorn will eat more.
You're a glutton.
Well,
Well, just make sure you make it back to eat more. I'll make sure to have a proper feast for you. Now, while you're away, I'll be going to go visit you, Baba, as well, taking some of these survivors with us. They said they wanted to be a part of the Kamote. Tiny things, just like you.
Tiny is also mighty, Kuria.
He gives you a slight look at hearing his new name from you. So it is. Well, we should also make our way back to Falcon's hunting lodge as well. Urk's wish is to have the rest of the kobolds up there part of the Kamote too. So, but a task for another day. For now, let's enjoy this meal and then get to work.
She nods, and she'll just hang out on the window and wait for the others and just enjoy the time with her brother.
Well, breakfast time does eventually end, my friends, and time with family draws to a close as responsibilities come calling. Ostrin and Tina are the first to be pulled away as carts start getting loaded, and a very tired and even more aged Barthen barges in and yells for them by name. Ostrin, Tina, we got carts to load. Get out here. Enough of your yip yapping. You had your time. You see Ostrin immediately roll his eyes, and Tina says, "We're on our way, old man." And they both lean in to put one arm over you each. Stay safe. And they get up and leave.
thinking in my head, oh shit, I was never good at that.
um, Harbin Wester eventually comes in looking for uh, Reginald and Rubella, yapping on about something about we need your leadership to lead these people into safety. People look to you for role model. Yap, yap, yap. And your mother kind of silences him with a look. And your father says, without looking at him, "We said we would be there when it was time. It is not time yet." And Harbin Wester mumbles something and storms out. And your mother looks at you, Reginald, and she puts a hand on your hands and says, "Take care of yourself. We do have to go, though. Make sure you lead your party to victory." And they'll both get up and give you a loving embrace and make for the door as well. As they leave, uh, Toblin and Fiora will kind of give a look around their tavern as if like this might be the last time that they see it. And Say, well, some good memories here. I hope we get to make some more. They'll leave as well. And as everybody's starting to make their exodus, Irk takes his plate, still piled high with food, uh, follows them out, uh, kicks Kuria in the back of the knee to fuck with him, and then takes off before there can be any retaliation. And Kuria himself stands up and says, "Well, looks like it's time to head out."
You know, you can eat him if you want.
uh, I wish I could, but Yubaba told me not to.
Thorn immediately frowns at that. But why?
He shrugs. I wish I knew, but he came to me in a dream and said, "Don't eat the blue one." So here we are. Either way, you take care of yourself, little sister.
She gives him a little bit of a headbutt. Just in parting.
The day is yours. Do you have
As
any
we're
last one? I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're fine. I turned to look at Reginald as we're finishing up breakfast, and after all of them have left. How long will it take us to get to Dragon's Barrow?
Well, probably a day, maybe day and a half.
Accurate. It will take you at least one long rest.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but to my recollection, we are not escorting people back to Axholm, correct?
You are not.
Okay.
That is your parents,
And
Reginald's parents, and your brother and sister.
okay. I just wanted to make sure I was remembering things correctly. Well, do you want to spend a few hours working on this contraption that we're building, or do you just want to go straight to the Dragon Barrow?
Well, I think at this stage it is something we can complete on the way, but I mean, ultimately, I need you to set upon the contraption, and then I need to inscribe it all the runes for the desired effect. So, yes, well, as long as you have the contraption, as it were, I can do my part on top of it.
How much longer do I think I need to complete it? Oh, wise booming voice from the sky.
God says give him a moment.
God, how much time do I need?
8 hours
Okay.
of nonstop work.
Nonstop. Okay.
If
It's
you
gonna take
roll good.
us. Yeah. Okay. And it's going to take us about a day and a half to get to the Dragon Barrow.
Yes.
I'm going to need at least 8 hours of uninterrupted work, and that's if I get everything right the first time around. For this part,
Well, I believe then you should probably be in the cart, if we have one.
we're about on
Um
the way there.
If you all need a cart, you would have to request one because most of the carts have been used to carry as many supplies as possible to Axholm.
Hmm. With what I have put together so far and the tools that I need, can I work at it on site, or is this something that I need specialized uh, tools and a uh, like a smithy for to complete this work?
So, if I understand what your contraption is, it is an arrow um, that will incorporate an immovable rod and an enchantment to wear down and ensnare the dragon. Is that
Essentially, yes. It might be a little
okay?
bit bigger than a typical arrow, but yes.
Well, I will tell you that you have all of the tools that you need to fletch yourself an arrow. Any magical tools that you would need is something that you believe you have enough material to make as you need it, assuming that Reginald can be your forge,
Okay.
or that you can put a forge together at the Dragon Barrow. Because technically, you all are looking to draw the dragon to the Dragon Barrow.
Right.
So you have as much time at the Dragon Barrow as you would potentially need,
Okay.
assuming the dragon doesn't just fly overhead.
Okay.
Materials at the Dragon Barrow to build a furnace or anything like that will probably be limited.
Id.
So magical means are what you're going to be needing. You assume that Reginald would be able to supply those for you, such as heat, or any other kind of uh, enchantment. But until you get there and until you
I
start
got
telling
that.
me what you actually want to do and what you actually want to build, I won't be able to give you an accurate answer.
Okay. Uh, what I am thinking then is essentially it is similar to an arrow, but it is longer. So think of it almost. It is not the size of an actual ballista bolt, but it is definitely something that is on a magnitude bigger than an arrow. Um, that could be potentially fired from a longbow or a modified longbow because it would need the draw power to be able to get the distance that it potentially needs to go. And it would need to be bigger than an arrow normally would, just to accommodate the immovable rod and all the other pieces in it to kind of get through the dragon's scales and then impale itself in there and grab hold of it.
You need to make a
So,
choice.
mhm.
Is the immovable rod going to be the shaft, or is the immovable rod going to be attached to a shaft?
The
Because
immovable go ahead.
that will significantly impact what happens when you fire this.
My initial thought is that the immovable rod itself is going to be the shaft, because in my mind that is the most secure way to make it so that there is no it is much harder to separate it from the arrow that we're using. I say arrow, but the embedding projectile that we are using to get it into position for the dragon. If we just make it as the shaft versus trying to attach it to versus trying to make it something else we're attaching to the shaft, if that makes sense.
With some modification, you can make that happen without too many major tools. However, because it is an enchanted item, you will be heavily relying on Reginald to perform most of the modifications, as uh, you have skills with smithing and drawing up ideals. However, you do not have skill in manipulating enchantments. You have
Mhm.
skill in creating them. That
Right.
is the way I understand Artificer.
Yes, that is essentially it. I can create a lot of things out of nothing, and I can create very many mundane things, and I can give non-magical items magical properties of my choice, but actually weaving magic, well, I have some capabilities in that I am not as skilled as Reginald would be.
And
So
go ahead.
with that in mind, I think as we're finishing up and I ask that question and an idea begins to formulate in my head, um, I say, I will be right back. I need to go and check on something. And I am going to head to, I think it's the Lion Crest Shield or the Lion Shield that
Lion Shield
armory.
Coster.
The Lion Shield Coster, thank you. Yes. That armory, and I want to see if we can find the proprietor of it. I know it's a woman. I don't think we ever got her name though. Let me just double check. I feel like we didn't, but it's been a while since I've had to look this up.
Lenine Greywind.
Ah, we did. Okay. Uh, I'm going to see if I can find Lenine at the Lion Shield Coster. If not, I am going to try and find her among the refugees that are getting ready to leave. Um, and I'm going to, and if I can find her, I need to ask her if I can break down some of the materials at the Lion Shield Coster to make a portable forge, or if she happens to have one handy that I could borrow. So then that way I know I have the materials that I need for forging and smithing as best as I can there. It might not be everything, but it'll at least give me a better base versus not knowing anything about what's there.
You do not find her at the Lion Shield Coster. In fact, you notice that she is among a group of pretty well armed individuals that are kind of acting as guards along the train that will be the caravan from uh, Fandalin to Axholm. The caravan has already started moving, though. Uh, she is still technically within the bounds of the city. However, she's on the very edge. Uh, you check the Lion Shield Coster first, though, and you notice that some of the shelves still have a significant amount of items on them. Um, one of which is a set of smithing tools. There is a, for lack of a better word, portable furnace there. It's basically
Okay.
a bucket with uh, a insulating lining that is heat proof that you can use to create uh, about the size of one ingot at a time
Hmm.
of material. Otherwise, heating wise, if you're looking for anything bigger than that, that's going to be a significant endeavor to carry with you. You will need a cart if that's the case.
I think I'm going to try and keep it as light as possible as to not burden the caravan, since I put all that time and effort into making sure to make their lives easier. Um, so what I will do is where is it? Oh no, it's just okay. I think if I see the caravan moving in it after I've seen the Lion Shield Coster and I see something there, Lionel has an immediate thought of I could use this and she would be fine with it, but considering his past of shit around this, he very much disregards that thought immediately and just screams, Lenine! And he starts running to where she is as I am
Just
screaming
fucking
her
take
name.
them.
There's a reason he's not doing that.
See, you son of a bitch.
Uh, she does not hear you. However, one of the guards does relays the information to her, and she on a horse makes her way back to you, which happens to be much faster than what you are doing. So you are now face to face with a very intimidating woman in a set of full plate armor bearing a sea motif.
I'm gonna be super quick. Can I just borrow some of the things from the Lion Shield Coster that would help for a portable forge while we deal with the dragon?
There's an immediate retort on the tip of her extremely sharp tongue, and you feel the sting without any words as her eyes dig into you. And she says, "If you are here to ask me whether or not you can take anything, then go ahead and take it. I do have not the time nor the patience to go back and pack everything up. We have taken the essentials. Whatever is left in that store is fair game, for you or for the orcs. Go."
Thank
And
you. I appreciate it.
without waiting for your reply, she digs her heels into her steed and takes back off to the front of the caravan.
I think as I turn around, I just say to myself, better to ask versus having a repeat of what happened last time. And I go back and I get everything that I need. And is there anything else of interest in there while I am looking?
Roll an investigation check.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're able to find a single potion of greater healing. Um, you're able to find a few serviceable pieces of armor if you're looking for anything like that, and a few weapons. If any of that interests you, I can generate a list for you.
I think he grabs, aside from the portable furnace, he grabs the potion of healing greater. And if the armor and the weapons look of good quality, I think the only thing he would do is he would grab weapons that are what he has seen the other two and Urk using, if they are of better quality than what they already have.
On a cursory glance, um, everything looks to be of relatively good quality, but nothing like it's not all non-magical.
Okay.
Um, there is a great
Uh,
sword, there is a long sword, there is a long bow. You see several daggers. The armor is mostly leather armor. There is a suit of scale mail, however.
I think everyone has better armor than that armor they would prefer to be wearing. Otherwise, they probably would upgrade. And the weapons are normal. I think after a very quick glance, he just grabs the potion of greater healing and the portable furnace, and then heads back.
Very well.
Not seeing anything else of necessarily
Necessary.
worth. Yes, necessarily of unique worth at this time.
Look, I'll take that kind of fumble over his enema fumble.
Accurate.
No context.
Anybody watching the stream right now is very confused.
Good.
uh, well, you managed to make your way back. You can just add a standard set of smithing tools to your inventory, and I will count that as your ability to use the furnace and whatnot.
Okay.
And anything else any of you would like to do?
Leave.
Yeah. Well, the trek to Dragon Barrow. So you all have two options. You can either go the long way, which is follow the trail west and then north to be right next to Dragon Barrow, or you can all head straight there. What is your prerogative?
I think if we're not in any particular rush to get there, it'd be probably safer to follow the roads. And that
Yeah, I kind of agree.
that gives Lionel
Yeah.
and Reginald time to do things that they need to do as well.
Mhm.
Very well. Um,
Where's
You
Urk?
start-
Put Urk's token on the board.
Urk's there.
Urk
He's
is there.
He's
Where?
southwest of me.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
All right. uh, so, totally lost my train of thought.
Mission successful.
You're a menace. You all start heading west, southwest-ish along the Tribord Trail. Gray skies for the most part. Clouds rolling in from the sea. A little bit of drizzle. It's a little bit cold, honestly. Your event, your travel is mostly uneventful, save for say about the halfway point. You all stumble across something that maybe shakes you up a little bit. Walking up along the trail, getting close to where the Tribord Trail meets the high road, you all stumble upon a huge block of ice. Uh, Already out of place alongside the trail, you notice that there is something encased in the ice. An ogre. Having been obviously killed and frozen to death, but the dragon was either too weak or did not have the strength to carry it away. It left it there as a marker for others.
This is disgraceful. How do you kill something and then not eat it?
Well, think of this particular instance as like a means of saving it for later. Say you killed 4 things and you're only able to consume 3. You don't have enough space in your stomach, so you save the 4th and take it with you for later. However, in this instance, it appears that it was discarded, dropped, or lost potentially.
Irk shoves his face in between your two conversation and is like, "What are you talking about? You don't need these." And he pulls out one of the scourges from the Axholm that latched on or attempted to latch on to him, and is like, "Here, are you hungry?" And he shoves it almost in your face.
Oh.
Uh, and what about the ghouls? You didn't eat the ghouls. You didn't eat. You don't eat all the things you kill.
Thorn tried to eat the ghouls, and it did not taste good. There are some things you cannot eat. You can eat ogre.
Can you eat this?
Thorn
And he
doesn't want
shakes the
that.
scourge.
Thorn doesn't know why you still have that in your pocket. It's been like 2 days.
He takes a bite out of the wing.
While this lively discussion is going on, Lionel takes a long, hard look at this frozen ogre, and does it actually really look like that the dragon just left it here because it was too weak, or does this seem more like it was like a warning or something to scare people from the region?
It looks like it just encountered an ogre and froze it to death. It doesn't look like it's too far away from the trail to really be in the way. But it is like a sightseeing trip. It's not like posted up. It's not standing up. or anything like that. It's just encased in a lot of ice.
I think it just didn't care. Saw something that got in its way.
Disgraceful predator. Wasteful. That's all good meat.
Have you ever had ogre? It's really not good meat.
She kind of like squints at him. No, Thorn hasn't had to kill an ogre. Thorn only eats things she kills.
Kuri killed 3 ogres. I'm just saying. Missed opportunity on Thorn's part.
Thorn didn't kill the ogres. Kuri killed the ogres. Thorn has had work before. Can't be that dissimilar, right?
I think at that comment, Lionel kind of hefts his pack and says, "Come on, we're losing daylight."
Your scar itches.
Thorn, I think Thorn scrabbles up Lionel's back and is like cat pose, like across his shoulders, and she kind of looks at Urk. Thorn almost tried to eat Lionel once too. He was almost dead
Is that what stopped you? Why didn't you just finish the job?
because he wasn't dead.
Smells dead.
Yeah, he smells like a skunk, but he says he's not.
Mm.
Thorn sticks her nose in Lionel's ear again and just
Stop!
still smells like skunk.
I think as she says that, I then take a moment with like my smith tools in my other hand, where that's down by my side, and I just flick them around and I cast prestidigitation. So the whiff of like very offensive, and by offensive I mean very pungent, like flowery fragrant soap enters both hers and Urk's nostrils.
She immediately like puffs out, like if she had fur, it'd be standing on it. You're the worst. You smell so weird.
I'm not a skunk.
Urk sneezes so hard he snots the back of your calf.
Okay, good to know. You have allergies.
I hate flowers.
I think Lionel then casts prestidigitation to clean off the back of his cap from just the snot rocket that happened.
You know, you can clean it, but the snot kind of soaked through your immediately.
So I still have the
So you
memory
still
of the
feel
feeling.
it. You still feel it. The slimy kobold snot.
Gross.
Meanwhile, Reginald just watching the goings on, like, yeah, we're here to save the world.
We are the heroes of Fendalen.
Well, the day carries on rather uneventful. The afternoon goes into evening, goes into dusk, and it's time to make a camp. Unless you all would like to push further through the night and make more ground along the high road.
I feel like we should camp. There's no reason to excessively push ourselves.
Yeah, I'm fine with camping.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. Urk goes about his dutiful task of setting up the camp, getting a cook fire going, putting a pot over the cook fire, filling the pot with water, going about finding some berries and some small game to fill the pot with some sort of protein, and setting up tents. Meanwhile, enjoying everybody's company or supervision as is your prerogative. But ultimately, you all do manage to get your camp set up. Uh, food is dispensed, and the sun begins to set. Is there anything anybody would like to do?
Irk, what song were you playing earlier this morning?
No momento. Uh, Eric shrugs. He he softens a little bit, like as much as a scaly kobold can. Um, but he says, sometimes you just play the song, and instead of really you playing the song winds up playing you. Well, it's the same with the lute. And sometimes it just takes over, and the music is no longer your muse, but you are the muse for the music.
I know that feeling all too well. I'm sometimes wielding the hammer, sometimes the hammer is wielding me. Does it have any special meaning at all? I heard the words, but
He shrugged. I only remember parts of it, parts from a long time ago.
did you used to follow Bahamut at all?
He actually makes physical eye contact with you, like his head kind of almost snaps, but it's like he catches himself halfway through, and he says, Bahu?
Uh, Bahamut, the god of dragon kind and kin? As I'm like pointing at Reginald for like he knows more?
He shakes his head. Gods are tools for men like you to kill other people.
I don't follow a particular god.
Thorn's
He,
demeanor visibly darkens.
he shrugs. Doesn't matter. Everybody's got a righteous cause. It's it's not fair to people who don't care. We just want to live. But everybody's got a cause they have to follow, and they use a god to to preach it. And where's the god for kobolds? He's dead. Did you know that? Did you know that the god is dead?
No. What were they like? Oh, am I sorry? Was this the part where I was supposed to be arrogant and racist? I'm not. As I just kind of look at him as he's, I guess, kind of maybe stunned a little bit. What was he like?
No, that was actually me taking a moment to check the Badoop. I apologize.
Okay. No, you're fine. I just played into it. I just played into it.
uh,
Because he's been sassy and snotty to me a bunch, so
Irk shrugs. Died a long time ago. Dad knew him, but Dad's dead, so
Not all of the gods are bad. Not all of them have some righteous cause. Don't besmirch the beliefs of others because you do not hold them.
I didn't know you were so well traveled. There's an edge to his voice.
Thorn is not well traveled, not in the way that maybe others are. But Thorn knows what she believes in, and she knows what her god believes in.
Ah, yes, your God, demanding the survival of others in order to be worshipped. He clenches his fist. I have, I had clanmates who sacrificed much to you and your gods and the Kamote just to make it past, just to live. So, yes, go on. Preach to me about your god, Semwanya.
Semilania does not require worship. Semilania could not care less about whether we live or die. It's unfortunate that you had to experience loss, irk, but all Semilania preaches is survival. Not worship, not dedication. And as his speaker, Thorn will not sit by and listen to you dirty his name.
If he had an eyebrow, he would raise. But he does now make direct eye contact with you instead of um, staring at the flames. And for a moment, it's like you see all of the experiences that Urk has gone through. You see how much he has survived. You see through Semwanya's eyes the trials that this kobold has uh, gone through to get to where he is right now. And you recognize a soul pseudo kindred to your own in your own survival um, to get to where you are now. His road is simply much longer than yours. And while he makes eye contact with you, you can tell like there's a deep rage inside of him that he is kept quelled for a very long time. But he says to you in a voice that is maybe a little bit too controlled for, the emotions that are visible on his face. He says, "Well, where's Simwania for me? Where is Simwania for my people? Where is Simwania when the kobolds that I know have survived the things that my clan has done to survive? He is not with them. He is with you and your lizard folk." And and he shakes a little bit and he says, "And Semwania does not care for the kobolds. Semwania cares for lizard folk because lizard folk created Semwania, just like man created their gods and elves created theirs. When kobolds created their god, other other gods were created to kill it. We don't have a god. We are here because we choose to be, spied and spurned by the world. And we are not asking, and I am not asking for you to understand my anger or my rage, or even where I'm coming from when I tell you that all gods are the same. I'm simply telling you that this is what I feel. I don't ask you to agree with it. How could you when you haven't experienced what I have? And still shaking, he stands up off of his stump. And he makes eye contact with the three of you and he says, "I am going to go stand a watch. I am no longer okay." And he uh, closes his eyes and he takes a deep breath as if to steady himself. And there's a second where, if anybody wishes to say anything else to him, you may.
Thank you.
He disappears to the edge of the camp and starts going over his quadrants. Sorry, that got really heavy.
Fine. Sometimes it happens. Think I look into Reginald. I'm glad I waited to ask.
Waited to ask about the song, about Bahamut in general. That would have made us very spirited conversation on the road.
Yeah. It's just weird. He says he doesn't like any of the gods, and yet he knows one that is very specific to Bahamut. And I don't know. I look to Thorn. Sorry if I raised your hackles with that conversation as well. Just wanted to know why in hell we suddenly heard. We all had a dream about a song that Urk was singing before we go to fight a giant, souped up dragon that is apparently the spawn of Tiamat in some way.
Thorn shrugs a little bit. He does not understand Samolania, and that's fine. But Thorn will not sit by and let him besmirch Samolania's name. He does not have to share in Thorn's belief to respect it.
True. I do get where he's coming from, though.
She kind of gives Lionel a little bit of a look.
I told you all why I started adventuring, didn't I?
Player talk, I do not remember.
Yeah, all I recall was like you did some gambling, then you were like, oh, I fucked up, and you lost a lot of things, and then you're like trying to make up for it and running away from your family. That's all I really remember.
That's okay. I think if that's the general course, that Reginald's like, oh yes, you gambled a lot and then you ran away from your family and your problems. I think Lionel will look at him and be like, kind of, but not quite. I made a deal with Falshaburn, and the deal was, and I kind of manifest my armor to kind of let it do what it wants to at this point, since I know it technically has a limited intelligence or maybe a bigger intelligence than what I actually think it is at the moment. Go ahead.
You let your armor do what it wants.
Yeah.
Uh, something strange and unexpected happens.
Oh, well, this is just going to help my story even more. Go ahead.
Your armor leaves your body completely. The living metal arcing out from your or arcing out from your skin, and
Mhm.
crawling across the ground to envelop Irk's loot.
That is terrifying. I did not mean for that to happen. But I bet Dominic for that as I point to the living metal because he had some. And I specifically wanted it to make a new hand from my older sister, who lost it in a hunting accident. And she had fallen into a deep depression. And in my ignorance, I thought that simply giving Colina a new hand would solve everything. So I did what any naive fool would do when seeing the answer to all of his problems. I made a bet and I lost. I didn't lose gold. I didn't lose money. I didn't even lose my freedom. You know when something just happens and you get by the skin of your teeth and you call it your good luck or your bad luck? I lost all of my good luck. And when I mean all of it, I mean everything. I lost everything and every close call I could ever have that would turn out in my favor. All that gone. And from that point on, everything that could go wrong for me did. The store that my family owned started to fail. My father's hunting trips became less and less fruitful. The internship I had as a apprentice and a smith started to go south. And one night, I got blamed for blueprints of an exquisite piece of armor that the master, Alphonse, had been working on. And I was blamed for it. And I was run out of town. And I was told to never come back. And because of this, and the fact that if I stayed, my family would suffer and not be able to get any work, I left. And my bad luck continued. So, I get what he means when he says he has been spurned by nearly everyone because of what he is. I cannot say I have the same depth of experience as him when he says that, but I can at least empathize with his pain to a degree. It is not fair or fun to be spurned by everyone and blamed for everything that goes wrong. So while I agree he should respect your beliefs, I get where he is coming from. And I also get the hatred that he shares for something that he cannot control and deal with. Because I recognize his eyes. They're mine whenever we have to deal with Dominic or when we did. And they still are.
Well, that is quite the tale, of course. That obviously nothing I wish to befall anyone, but I feel like the outcome thus far has been better than as you painted it. If all of your good luck was in fact gone, how have we succeeded until this point? I feel that everything would have gone wrong at every step of the turn, and we would not be here now.
I honestly can't answer that because I don't know. I know everything prior to coming here never worked out for me. And I kind of show him the coat that I still had, and because my armor is now off of me and it's just ratty and torn, and there are patches sewn in everywhere, but it is something that is obviously very old and Lionel should have replaced probably like months and months ago. But he just couldn't. And he just says, I don't know. I honestly don't. I know it's changed since meeting both of you, and maybe that was what needed to happen. And I just needed to stick around people long enough for things to work out. But I can't tell you. I just know that I get to some degree what Urk is feeling.
I think Thorn listens, and there's kind of a look of intent on her face, but she's still very prickly and very bristled, and just shakes her head a bit. You can talk about luck all you want. You can. It doesn't matter. It Whether you call it the blessing of a god or a curse or luck, it's all the same stuff. Thorn has been raised a certain way. Thorn loves Thorn's god. Thorn believes in Thorn's god, and that's all that Thorn needs. It's not fair for anyone else to besmirch that or talk down to Thorn about that. Like Thorn said, not you, not Urk. No one has to believe in what Thorn believes to respect that Thorn believes in it. And if you want to defend Urk in that, that is your decision.
I think Lionel nods and he just says, I don't wish to defend what he did, merely to say that I can understand. That's all.
Sounds a lot like defending him to Thorn.
Well, that is what you believe, then that is fine. As long as you don't try and gnaw me in my sleep, please.
She shakes her head a little bit. Thorn's gonna go get some rest. You should get your armor off that thing.
Oh, that's a problem. What has it done with the loot? Has it just kind of wrapped itself around it?
Uh, it seems to have inlaid itself into it. Uh, kind of, uh, kind of, for lack of a better word, refurbishing some of the motifs. Um, it has restored it to maybe a previous uh, appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as you reach out for it, it is yours. You control it, so it comes back to you.
Does it look like it's done refurbishing the loot, or is there still some work it could do?
I mean, it's dark. You're not really trained to know what this thing would look like in its prime state, so it's not really easy to tell. It looks better than it did, maybe a little bit cleaner, but beyond that,
I can. Okay. I think with that, if it feels like I am not necessarily yanking my armor away from it, like I guess the best analogy I can give is if it doesn't feel like it's a husky at the end of the leash being very stubborn in regards to what I want to do, I'll pull it back. But if it feels like it's being absolutely stubborn, I will let it continue to work at least for a little bit longer.
no, it comes back no problem.
Okay. I will call it back then, and then I will try to get some work done on my arrow bolt harpoon dragon thing.
Very well. Reginald, are you going to assist in this?
Yeah, I think so, because I need to try to make sure that he's constructing it in such a fashion that I'm able to do what I need to do and my components associated with it.
You're supervising so he doesn't fuck it up. You can say that.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Roll me a 1d8, please.
Ooh.
Roll me a d20, please. Reginald, roll me a d20, please.
Oh,
Those are
that was
both
me rolling.
Reginald's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Lionel, roll me a
Yes.
d20, please. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I think we're gonna use my lucky dice on that one. We use one of my luck dice.
Yeah.
May as
good
well. We're
idea.
going to bed soon, right?
Yeah,
Good
that's my
idea.
thought.
About to start another day.
Did you already reroll? Oh, there it is.
Took me a moment to find the tick mark.
All right, you all make really good progress. Not as good as you have in the past, but still really good progress. Um, but as you go on, the evening does grow long, and fatigue starts to wear at your vision and your thoughts. Uh, Outside, you can still hear Urk tamping about, uh, doing his rounds, but the sound has now become monotonous, so much so that you can time his position when he should be there by the tamps. Um, so, unless you all would like to try to power through the evening, in which case I will add a bonus to it, but you will be rolling the next roll with a disadvantage, and you will suffer exhaustion for tomorrow.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, let's not press that luck.
Yeah, yeah.
That good luck. That good luck.
Yeah, yeah. Legend over here. There's no such thing as good or bad luck. Next roll that happens.
Very well. Thorn, did you have anything you would like to do for the evening?
No, I think after she tells Lionel to get his shit off of the loot, I think she goes and finds a tree to sleep in for the night, and just there is a scraping of bark as she scrabbles her way up and just disappears, like a menacing sugar glider for the evening.
Menacing in her eyes, I'm sure. Well, I need everybody to roll me wisdom saving throws.
About that. Okay.
You still did better. Lionel rolled the highest with a 13. Let's talk about that for a second.
With a -1.
Yep.
Um, the night drags on, and since none of you decided to divvy up uh, watch standing duties with Urk, he stays up all night to watch you all sleep
It's fine.
until roughly
Thorn is mad at Urk. He can take all the watches.
uh, until roughly about well, it's not morning yet, but maybe it's pretty close. It's like pitch black out. It's that time of morning where everything is, not moving. Uh, you all are woken to the roar of a dragon not too far overhead that lets out a blast of uh, what would be psychic energy that will affect Thorn and Reginald and deal 3 points of psychic damage. Lionel, you are safe. But your sleep is interrupted. Um, you all hear the uh, tamp, tamp, tamp of uh, Urk as he lets out a bellow back at the dragon. But otherwise, what?
Just imagining like lion roar from the dragon, house cat hiss from Urk.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty fair comparison. Um, but the dragon flies off. No further incidents for the rest of the evening if you all go back to sleep.
Mhm.
But morning comes and uh, you all are left to fend for yourself this morning. There will be no pot of stew made by Urk this morning. His tent is also already torn down. Lionel, I don't know where you were sleeping, but if you were inside of Urk's
No.
tent last night, he would have been woken up to him tearing it down.
No, I was not. I decided to sleep outside in my bedroll.
Very well.
Thorn will go out and gather food and whatnot.
I will get a fire made ready while Thorn is out gathering food.
Very well. Well, it's easy enough to find food. Uh, and I assume that you all will eat breakfast and otherwise go about your morning.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, breakfast is consumed. Urk is nowhere to be found. Uh, but you all are free to continue on.
I look to the others. We haven't seen him. We can't just leave him.
Why?
Because as much as someone might annoy us when they are your compatriot, in fighting something, you don't just leave them. It's like your older or younger sibling. Even if they piss you the hell off, you still make sure they get home.
Well, yes, I suppose I agree with that. However, he does also know where we are headed. He may also have left already on his own, headed in that direction. And searching around here for him may simply waste time, as we may be traveling forward anyways.
Thorn, can you at least find his trail to see what direction he went in?
Thorn rolls her eyes like a child and just kind of
Please.
and will go about looking for any sign of which direction he went off in.
Really, survival?
Yeah. I will assist her.
Roll it with advantage.
21.
You needed that advantage. Yeah, so as you're kind of looking around, you just kind of start looking around, and it's Lionel's like guiding you. Oh, well, we know that his tent was over here, so maybe we should check over here. Before you find pretty easily his footprints leading off in the direction that you all should be going.
I just wordlessly just like show him the tracks.
Thank you. And we will continue on in that direction since that's where we need to go anyway.
Phenomenal. Well, it only takes you roughly half a day to get there. And when you arrive, can everybody see?
Yes.
Yarp.
You see Urk at the top of a hill, lounging against a stone pillar of types, waiting for you all to show up.
You see anything interesting from up there?
He looks down at you. From where you all are at on the map, he is roughly 10 feet above you. And he stands up on his pack to, get that extra foot boost, scans the horizon, and shrugs. Don't see nothing. You all took your sweet time.
Yeah, well, we just wanted to make sure that we weren't leaving anyone behind or anything behind.
Like who?
I just look at him deadpan. Gee, I wonder. Maybe the one who took off earlier than everyone else.
He blinks, shrugs, says, according to the map, this is the place, but I don't see nothing.
Um, I will kind of start walking, and where Urk is, that's kind of like the apex of the mound, correct?
Um, so, uh, you all can see the faint lines kind of around, right? Those are
Yeah,
topography lines, right? So
right.
at the base, you have ground level. The first line is 10 feet, then 20 feet, then 30 feet. So you would be on the 20 feet. Reginald and Thorn would be on the 30 feet along with Urk. Kind of levels up here.
Okay. Yeah, so I will at least kind of make my way up to the topmost and then kind of like set down my stuff, and I'll look to Reginald and Thorn. Well, we start looking around and seeing if we can find this weapon that could kill a dragon, or if we can find any clues in regards to it. The more
So,
eyes we can get. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
The more eyes we can get on this area, the better.
I already rolled, so Irk's out.
It's
Thorn wants to go up here. And she wants to try to scrabble on top of this thing.
Okay. It's fairly easy to do. It's just stone, but it's kind of skinny, so. But I guess so are you.
She's gonna kind of like meerkat at the top of it and look around and see if she can see anything as well.
You do not see anything. Lionel and Reginald, if you all would like to look around, please roll me perception checks.
Man, I am rolling great all of a sudden.
I'm gonna try and use one of my luck dice.
Okay.
Just to see. No. So 11.
Well, either way, you succeed. The DC was a 10.
Hooray!
Lionel, you almost miss it, but you're kind of scanning around. And, it's pretty obvious to everybody that this mound is in the shape of a dragon. And these sort of rock formations kind of form the spines. But the base of the one that Urk is standing next to and Thorn is meerkatting on definitely has a sort of substance to it that the others lack. The others are just go straight down into the ground. This one kind of flares out as if it's covering something.
Okay. I will go over to the one that Thorn has scrabbled to the top of and that Urk is near. And let me see. No, I don't have anything that could really help me with that, but I will. I guess I'll take out like my one of the pythons that I have and kind of use it as best as I can as a makeshift shovel to just kind of start digging into the dirt to move it a little bit and trying to be a bit careful with this so I don't damage as best as I can what's underneath there, but starting to uncover it so I can get a better picture of what exactly this pillar or this rock formation is kind of attached to at its base.
So this pillar, uh, this stone, is sort of acting as a plug to some sort of entrance. And it's pretty easy to tell after you knock some of the dirt away. Like, there's definitely a stone, something underneath, and that this is sitting inside of it.
Okay. With that, I will look up at Thorn. Can you get off for a second?
She jumps down onto his shoulders. Just thunk.
I will then see if I can remove this plug. And yeah, I'll see if I can try and remove this plug or at least move it around.
Roll me an athletics check.
Okay. No.
Jesus.
Back. That luck shining through hardcore right now.
Yeah.
At least he didn't have a -1 to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a 0.
Yeah. I will then look to Urk, and I will also look at Thorn, and then I'll call to Reginald. I think I'm gonna need a little bit of help here, like a lot, a little, or a little, a lot, whatever the hell you want. Just get your butt over here.
Thorn's gonna reach down and try to pull it out.
Thorn, roll me an athletics check.
Reginald will be walking up the hill mound with his cape billowing.
I have
You
a
cannot move it.
fucking +7 with my new gloves, and I still roll a fucking 10.
I think when Reginald gets here and we're all here and we're kind of all positioned around it, I will kind of grab it and look at all of them on 3. And basically try and help Thorn as best as we can, so give her advantage.
I need everybody to roll me an athletics check.
See, that's fucking better. Thank you, Thorn, for finally rolling above a fucking 10 tonight.
I got a 10.
You sure did.
So, doing this the hard way, you all shove at the base of this thing, where it's densest and probably where, it's less likely to be moved. But you guys managed to move it, surprisingly. Between the 4 of you, it shifts over and the top becomes wobbly, and you all sort of start pushing with the wobble, and eventually it topples over, revealing a staircase beneath.
I still stand by my belief that doors are the BBEG of every D&D game.
So I'm gonna do something really fucked up for a second, and I want to apologize to my wife because I know this is gonna be a jab at her,
No,
and she's gonna
fuck
hate me
you.
for it. But after after it topples over, Urk throws his hands up into the air and goes, "Hallelujah! Thank all the gods! Thanks, Samwanya!" And he blows a kiss to the sky.
Thorn's gonna kick him down the stairs.
Roll an attack.
uh,
And just roll it with your attack modifier, whatever it is. Do an unarmed attack. You miss.
That's
she
fine.
crit. She crit. That would have been hilarious.
That's what I was looking
agree.
for, honestly. In fact, I'm gonna say that you hit him.
Hold on, I get 2 attacks per action.
Go ahead, shoot your shot.
Right.
Damn it.
So you do
The
this
exact same
twice.
roll.
Why is it the exact same thing?
You do this twice in a row with the exact same results, and I'm gonna narrate this a little bit. So he does this, and he blows a kiss into the sky, and you turn around and you slug him dead center in the chest, and he just is totally 100% unfazed, and he looks down at you and says, "You have the strength of Semwanya. I am so impressed." So you swing a second time, this time for his face. And have you guys ever seen that the Dracula anime where Belmont swings
Yeah.
on him? You must be the Belmont.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Totally unfazed. And then the smile disappears from his face, and he walks past you, and he will enter the catacombs.
I found it for you.
I will pick up my pack and start to head down as well. It's completely. Oh wait a minute, no, that doesn't bother me. I don't think that bothers any of us.
All right, so there's only like one slot here, so you all are gonna have to squeeze in.
Oh, cozy.
Don't move. Don't move. Stop moving. Just because you're mad at Urk does not mean you get to take it out on me. Where the fuck did your character go? God damn it. There
Just
you
off to
are.
the south.
South.
All right. All right. Fuck. All right. Stop it.
Hear her little
You're
chaos
grounded.
laugh in the background.
Fuck. So you all have, god damn it, entered the Dragon's Barrow.
Mhm.
You go down a spiral staircase that's pretty deep. It's pretty difficult to ascertain how deep, but you wind up in uh, a tunnel of sorts. Uh, um, from here, you have uh, caverns or passages that lead in almost every direction. So, which would you like to take first?
East.
We
Go follow the spectacled man.
Well, drag your token wherever you would like to friggin' go, I guess.
I will, thank you.
I'm removing your ability to move your token. All right.
How tall are these hallways, out of curiosity?
10 feet.
Okay.
Why?
We're just crammed sideways. Good to know. That's all.
Yes.
I didn't want to be crammed from the top, too. That would be uncomfortable. I know. Go on.
So,
You know you want to, big boy.
I was gonna say that's a very bottom thing to say. Anyways,
Sorry.
Reginald, to your south is a tomb. From where you're at currently, you can see what looks like to be a stone sarcophagi. Sarcophagus?
Either is good.
Sarcophagucci. I will
That one is not
begin
correct.
heading south.
So, this room, two sealed stone sarcophagi rest in alcoves dug into the south wall here. Beyond that, there is a narrow tunnel off to the west that is about 2 feet wide.
I'm gonna approach the one over here to the left, and I'm gonna inspect it only, not actually try to open it, but just kind of inspect it, like see if there's any engravings on the outside, or if I can read anything, if there is, or anything like that.
There does not seem to be any engravings or anything like that. No epitaph or anything.
Okay, nothing on it. Got it. In which case, I will open it.
Nice. 5, 10. All right. I need you and Lionel to give me dexterity saving throws.
It's gonna poo gas in my face.
It's like you've done this before.
I mean, it's a standard thing for most tomb of related items to have a gas release or something when you open them. So that's kind of why I figured as much.
Let's see. Roll for me. Dice game. Dice. So you're going to take, the both of you, 6 points of acid damage. As you open this, of course, disgusting gas cloud uh, explodes forth towards you, but you're able to hear the click of the mechanism that is supposed to release the gas before it actually releases, and you are able to shove Lionel out of the way as you get out of the way. And as the gas cloud is released, it immediately dissipates.
Well,
Got it. Everything's trapped here.
yes, assume that everything is about to explode.
All right. New thought. You, Urk, or Thurin, look for the traps. I can disable them.
Well, it ain't gonna be Urk.
Thorn will go
Is
over to this other one and look for traps.
Is there anything in this casket sarcophagus that we open, or is it just poo gas?
Just poo gas.
Okay.
Thorn, roll me an investigation check. You do not find any discerning marks or mechanisms or anything on the sarcophagus.
Thorn thinks this one's fine.
I will move over to this one then, and I will open it.
You know
Roll
she
me a
won't.
dexterity saving throw. You and Thorn.
Oh, me too.
Yes, you too.
You also
Within
get a
the
plus
gas
1
radius.
to saves, by the way.
Okay. Not gonna matter.
Oh, no.
Poo gas engulfs you. You are breathing in as skunk dust explodes from this. And you will take. Do it again, game. What is it? What did I roll? I rolled
46.
46. 12, bitch ass.
I was helping you. Calm down.
Thorn, you will take 6.
Thorn was wrong.
Okay.
Now you both smell like skunk.
Okay. Maybe I will look for the traps too, instead of just deactivating them.
What's this hole?
It is a 2-foot wide tunnel.
You're probably one of the only ones that could go in there. So
Yep.
Can I roll like a perception or something to see like into this hole? Do I hear anything like coming, like echoing down it? Does it smell kind of funny?
Roll me a perception check. The hole smells funny, but not in any kind of way that a crypt wouldn't already smell funny. You do not hear anything except maybe a faint whooshing sound. Um, the tunnel looks safe to pass. At least the 15 feet in front of you does. You want Urk to go through?
She gives him a withering look.
It's totally ineffective against him.
Thorn will be back. She just slides into this tunnel. She is going to try to go relatively quietly, just in case there's something either in the tunnel with her or something at the other end.
Okay.
I take it there was nothing in the sarcophagus, correct?
No, there was not. Thorn, stop moving. You get to hear.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, you get to hear. As you move forward onto this space, you hear a click under your foot,
Oh, lovely.
and the walls on either side of you collapse in on you.
Delightful.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You are able to faintly hear Urk call for you. Do you choose to respond?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Thorn thinks that the tunnel's collapsed.
As you go to speak, there is dirt in your mouth. You are in a state where you cannot breathe.
Delightful.
Urk looks to Lionel and Reginald and says, I think she's in trouble.
Go get her then. You're the only one that can fit in there. Please.
What, Semwania won't save her?
Fucking God, get over the goddamn stuff and just go help her!
Yeah, go ahead, cry to God again. And he takes off to find you. I would like Lionel to roll this athletics check for me.
Okay.
You are going to roll an athletics. Just roll a d20 and add 7 to it.
Okay. 10 or 17.
Okay.
uh, as you are beginning to run out of air in your lungs, there is a moment where you hear the scrabbling of dirt, and finally Urk manages to pull you free from the dirt.
She immediately shakes herself off like a dog. Stupid fucking tunnels! Stupid fucking traps!
Well, the path forward you will have to dig out if you wish to continue.
No, fuck that.
Urk retreats back into the tomb that you all came from and relays that he has saved the life of a fellow kobold to Lionel and Reginald before turning and going back the way he came.
Her just kind of rolls her eyes a little bit. Okay, we need to assume that literally every hallway is trapped then. Because even if the little tunnels are trapped, then the big tunnels are definitely trapped. All the things are trapped.
Probably. I will look at Reginald. I am probably better suited to take the lead if it's going to be traps everywhere. I might be able to spot them better than you two. I don't know, though.
Well, by all means, I have no issue with you leading the way. Just going back to where we started, let's try to step where we've already stepped.
Agreed. And I will do that.
Okay.
As we go back the way that we came. um, with what Thorn relayed to me, I don't know how we gonna do this because I definitely want to be investigating our surroundings as we're continuing for traps, but I don't know if you actually want me to roll investigation or perception or what.
What I will have you do is tell me how you're looking for traps. The walls and ceiling of this tomb are solid stone. The earth beneath your feet is dirt. If you would like to be looking for traps, what are you looking for and how are you looking for it?
Um, from the two traps or the two things that we have encountered so far and what Thorn encountered, uh, it sounds like they're almost mechanical in nature. So I would be looking for tripwires, parts of the floor that are a different color or shape than the rest of it. Maybe a section on the wall that isn't the same uh, topography as the rest of it, or maybe it's cut out and it could be a motif, but maybe it's not. I am mostly looking for tripwires, panels that look like they could be pushed in for something, or since we're dealing with an earthen floor, patches of dirt that look like they have been, I don't want to use the term more recently moved, but are a different color or that do not look as even as the rest of the floor surrounding them. And I think that's how he would try and find these things until he gets to like sarcophaguses or chest or something, because then he'll have to change tactics. But that is what he is going off of now, mostly pressure plates and tripwires.
All right. I'll take that into consideration as you're moving forward. And if something comes up, I'll make you roll for it.
Okie doke.
Which direction would you like to go now? North, west, or south?
I think for the moment, Lionel is going to choose to start heading north.
Very well. All right. Stop moving. Go over one to where you were.
Can I just quickly say before we start moving again, um, Thorn is going to reach out and cast Bless. So he'll get a D4. He can add a D4 to any attack roll or saving throw. Well, all up. Bless up to 3 creatures of your choice within range. So I'm going to get, since Reginald is staying back, I assume, I'll get myself, Urk, and Lionel.
Okay. Because you cast Bless and it only lasts 1 minute, we're going to go turn based from here on out. So that being said, everybody roll initiative. All right. Now that everybody's on the board, let's do some fun things.
The face of joy on that John had just mere moments ago. John, going back, where is my 10-foot pole when I need it?
So, Lionel, as you get close to what these creatures are, and you recognize them from books that you have read and actually seeing witch lights in the evening, you recognize them as wisps.
Hmm.
They release their invisibility. These two, once I get on the right layer. Da, 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 da. So this is a round of surprise, as they have surprised you. They were invisible. They no longer are. They are going to make some movements. These two are going to take off in a direction.
Good.
And this one will do the same, except it will go south. Reginald, it is your turn.
All right. I suppose first and foremost, I will be smart and remember and remind myself that I will cast Mage Armor on myself. Second to that, I believe because we were going to try and head north, I think I'm going to try to like not pay attention to the one that I saw go to the south, despite the fact that I can't see anything to the north, and just kind of be like, did you see that too?
Urk nods, still staring in the direction of it.
Well, that being said, then Reginald will. Let's see here. I'll have to actually select my character again to be able to use the arrows. He's gonna move back over this way and like look around the corner, and that will conclude his turn.
Very well. Urk is going to pursue. However, Urk's going to get to this point and immediately notice that there's something wrong with the ground in front of him. And he will call back to Reginald and the rest of you if you choose to listen to him. Watch the ground. There's pitfalls.
Noted.
But he will end his turn right there, bringing us to Thorn.
Hmm. Thorn's gonna move up to be next to Lionel. Did she see which way anything has gone?
It's pretty easy to tell which lights actually let off a glow, and you can see from the west here that there is a faintly dim glow coming from that direction.
I think she'll get to the other side of Lionel right here. And just hold her action. I think she'll hold an Eldritch Blast for if anything that she can see attacks one of her allies.
Very well. Lionel.
You mentioned that I had read about wisps or witch lights in a book prior. What exactly do I remember about them?
Roll me a history check. Will-o-wisps are the souls of evil beings that perished in anguish or misery as they wandered forsaken lands permeated with powerful magic.
With that, I can assume I'm going to go off the hunch that they probably have ill intent for us in some capacity. And I will move forward with caution, having heard what Urk said, keeping my eye open for pitfalls. 5, 10. I know that they went off to the west, having seen which way they went. 15. I can now roughly see everyone. Then 20. And that will be where I end my movement for now. And I will say to them, I have my eyes on the other two. They're far to our west. I'm not seeing any pitfalls right in front of me, though. And I think for now that will conclude my turn. Actually, I'm going to cast False Life on myself, just to be safe. As a first level spell, give myself 7 temporary hit points. And that will be my turn.
Very well. Well, we're back to top of the order. This wisp down yonder is going to do something fucked up.
No, I don't want to do drugs.
Oh, fuck. God damn. This wisp, Reginald, you watch as it floats forward and a powerful arc of lightning leaps from it into the dead center of Urk. Critting.
Wow.
Dealing a significant amount of damage. Literally a quarter. To Urk. Who takes the blow, but beyond the initial shows no further interest in the creature, I guess, or no further reaction. But after it makes the shock, it flits backwards away. Which will bring us to another one, which will do something similar. A 12, however, does not make it, I believe.
Hey, can I see that thing from here? I can see it on my map. Can I see it?
Sure.
Can I unleash my Eldritch Blast at it since it attacked an ally? And I'm still technically holding my action.
Sure.
Fire your shit.
Good job.
So your first attack hits, your second attack misses.
Okay.
However, we are now at Reginald.
All right.
Poor Reginald, he can't fireball these.
I mean, I could try, but yeah, it's really not. He's gonna move up to this location. He's gonna firebolt it because he can't really go ham on this thing all that much. So, firebolt, firebolt,
Miss.
firebolt. Jesus Christ, 18 misses. Holy fuck.
18 misses.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Reginald will cry. And he'll billow his cape and move back one space and end his turn.
Very well.
That was such a great roll, too. Damn.
It was
Yeah.
a really great roll. Remember the Belmont?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are Belmont. I'm sorry.
Yeah, apparently so. Shit.
This one will also try to shock you, Lionel. However, it will miss.
Good to know. I am a magnet.
Before immediately trying to retreat. Which will bring us to Urk, who will attempt to leap over the trap in front of him. Oof. Just barely. And go ham on this fucking wisp. And he will miss both times. He will curse loudly, and it will be Thorn's turn.
Is it considered an action to check for traps between me and Lionel?
Yes.
God damn it. I'm just gonna shoot some Eldritch Blast at this thing. that's far away from me.
Your first attack hits, and your second one misses.
Alright. I'm just gonna stay where I am.
Very well. Lionel.
Oh, that's a 10-foot sphere, so that's like. Okay. I am going to. I'm going to cast Magic Missile at this one that's right in front of me.
Very well.
Get to it at second level. Lovely.
Hell yeah,
2
brother.
force damage for the first one. I have 2 slots ticked off. And then wow. 4 force
Hell-
damage total.
Hell yeah, brother.
Very well.
And that will be my turn.
It is going to attempt to retort. It will miss. But after it misses, it is going to fly away. Would you like to take an opportunity attack?
Yes, I would. Just to see. I will use my Thunder Gauntlets. That choice was better. I should have gone with that one the first time around. 24 to hit.
You hit. You just don't feel like you're effective.
Unfortunate. Okay, well, Magic Missile was still the better option, I guess. Only I rolled higher.
This one is going to attempt to shock Urk again. It will fail. But as it fails, it will attempt to flee. Reginald, if you would like to make an opportunity attack, you may.
Damn.
You miss. Does Urk miss? Damn it. Very well. Reg, it is your turn.
All right. I'm gonna move over to chase this one a little bit before. Guess I need to try to hit it with something that's a little more potent than just throwing firebolts at it. All right, let's try and hit it with a upcast magic missile. Because at least that way I know I will land the shot. Okay. So let's see. Create 3 glowing darts of magical force. Each dart hits a creature of your choice you can see within range. A dart deals 1d4 plus 1. Darts all strike simultaneously. You can direct them to another creature at higher levels, you guys using a second slot or higher. The spell creates 1 more dart. So you probably should have had 4, Koval. And I have 4, if I'm reading that correctly. Because it should be 3 for a single cast. So you get 3 1d4 rolls. Or 1d4 plus 1 rolls.
I forget you guys
And
also
that's
do still have Bless too. Well, Urk, I and that one,
Yeah, I do.
Lionel.
So
Sorry.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. Alright, so my first shot. Can I just re-roll the damage on that? Well, like, I think I can, because I don't think it's going to eat my
Oh,
spell slot.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I
There's
forgot it
1,
was
there's
3.
2.
Oh, well.
Go ahead and
There's
roll
3.
the damage, Lionel.
Okay. So that would have been 2 more for me.
There's
3. Go ahead. Finish up your stuff first.
3. I thought it rolled. I thought I told it to just roll, but it didn't go through. Oh, there it goes. See? It was delayed. Ooh, nice max damage on that one. All right, so my target over here takes a combined 2, 6, 9, 14 force damage.
That it does.
As for my other 2 darts, they were 3 and 4. So an additional 7 force damage to the one that I was hitting.
So that one would have died.
Okay. Thank you for reading the fine print, Junie.
Yep. Yeah, magic missile is always weird because when you roll it, it just doesn't do everything in one roll, which is always strange. But
Yep. It is the problem. Child spell.
well, I mean, with such an iconic spell too, you would think that they would have it work properly, but no, of
No.
course not.
Oh, wait, that other one's still alive. God damn it. Action surge. Now all I gotta do is hit, right?
Right.
God damn. God damn. So Irk comes zooming out of the room that he was just in, leaps over this pit to take another couple of swings at this wisp that you just shot 4 times. But having missed both times, it will be Thorn's turn.
Thorn is going to, as best she can, follow in Lionel's path, so that she's not stepping on any traps. What was that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, wait. I can't see anything. From which direction is the glow? Is it like I know there's one to the east. Is there still one over to the west?
Yes.
Okay. Thorn will stop where she is and will use her action to search for traps.
You do not see any traps. Actually, I guess I should have you roll. Roll an investigation check. Yeah, you don't see anything.
Okay.
Lionel.
Oh. I know there's one more this way. Can't see anything over there.
There, you can see a glow.
I can.
Yes, these things emit light.
5. So I can see it from there. Oh. I will have this thing give me a constitution saving throw as I cast frostbite at it.
Frostbite.
Yes. It is cold damage. Hmm.
18 on the save.
It passes.
Is
So
that
no
half
damage.
damage?
No, cantrips, it doesn't do anything.
Cool.
With that, that's my action, and that's 5 feet. I'm going to use the rest of my movement to go 5, 10, 15, 20, then 25. And stop here for now.
Very well.
And that will be my turn.
Damn. Another 9 damage to Urk. And then 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Reginald and Urk will take opportunity attacks if they so choose.
Judo chop.
You both miss. Urk hasn't landed a single blow this go around. But Reginald, it is your turn.
All right. I think he is going to go this direction. Because he knows that Urk mentioned that there was a danger ahead / traps, whatever, for a pitfall. So he doesn't want to go down that corridor haphazardly. So he's going to go back this way. 5, 25, 30. And he sees not anything of import. So he will. I think he will hold a spell in waiting to cast Magic Missile at level 1 at the first will-o'-the-wisp target he sees enter his line of vision.
Very well.
And that will conclude his turn.
No. Cast it.
Oh, wait. Level 1. There it is. I almost cast it at level 2. That was not what I wanted. So first, second, third.
Pew, pew, pew.
10 damage.
Damn it. Another shock attempt on Lionel will miss. And then
Get back
if you all
here!
would like to take your opportunity attacks, you may.
I will try.
Punch in the butt.
If I can find the butt in the orb of smoke, sure.
You got to assume it's the one behind you.
Whiff.
An 18 to hit.
You can add your
Yeah,
D4.
blast. Yes, I just remembered that. Thank you for the reminder. For a 21. 7 points of thunder damage.
Not effective.
I gave it a static shock.
No, you didn't. You went boom.
Fair. My boombox apparently needs new subwoofers.
Urk. I'm sorry, did you... That was not your turn. That was Will-O-Wisp's turn. Who ran away? Urk's turn. 5, 10. God damn these athletics checks. Alright. Come on, baby. Hit for me. I say hit, you give me an @1. Urk hates you and you're blessed.
Well, fuck Urk too then.
You said it first.
Never said I hated Urk.
Yes, you
Yes, you
Said I
did.
was mad at Urk.
Jesus. Irk deletes this one.
About time.
Uh, but he is out of movement. So that's that. Thorn, you're up. A light goes out behind you.
5, 10, 15, 25, 20, 25, 30. Thorn has no further movement. Thorn will hold her action for an Eldritch Blast to see if it comes. An Eldritch Blast for whenever she sees a will-o-wisp.
Very well.
Thorn has had very poor luck in finding these things this fight.
Lionel.
All right. 5, 10.
Stop.
Eh.
You found
Ruh-roh.
it.
Yeah.
Oof, Jesus. Dice. I'm sorry. Let's see here. You are going to take damage as you step on what is a pitfall trap and fall down.
Son of
You
a
will take
bitch!
1 point of bludgeoning damage, as well as please be 4, please be 4, please be 4. 2, as well as 7 points of piercing damage as you fall onto some sharpened stakes and impale yourself on them.
Oh, ow. Oh, that ate through all of my temp HP. And then 1 real HP. Okay. How far in the hole? How deep in a hole am I?
10 feet.
Fuck! Okay. I was here 5, 10. Okay. Am I easily able to climb up this, or is it like sheer walls and shit to make things really hard?
To get out, you will either need to make an athletics check or an acrobatics check.
Okay. I will go with an acrobatics check. $18.
You are able to rip yourself off of the impalements and leap the 10 feet onto the opposite ledge. So you are now here.
Wall! Pain!
Oh yeah, it's pretty obvious now that there's a giant hole there.
Okay. All right. So 5, 10, drop down. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be the rest of my movement because I pretty much jump straight up.
The leap will be a bonus action. You
Okay.
still have the rest of your movement.
Okay. So 25. There it is. I will stop here for the moment. And I will. Excuse me. I will cast Magic Missile at first level at this thing.
Very well. Magic missiles for days.
Well, because it doesn't have a to hit. Yeah, I've been been exploiting that as much as possible.
Yeah.
It is dead.
Okay. Well, the other darts were good measure because it led me into a pitfall trap, which I was guessing they were trying to do, but
Guerrilla warfare. Go that way. Go this way. Go that way. Go this way. They're gonna fall into a trap eventually. I can only roll so many times.
yep. I mean, it worked and it was smart because I had to make the choice: do I want to attack or do I want to search for a trap this round? I chose to find the traps with my body.
And so it has been found.
Yep.
All right. Well, that concludes combat. We're 8 minutes past the time I normally like to run. So claim your victory and let's call it.
Okie dokie.
And we'll pick up same time next week.
Sounds
Sounds
good.
Good.
Cool. See you guys then.